President Rodrigo Duterte on Monday orders Congress to speed up the impeachment of Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. Sereno earlier accuses him of being behind moves to oust her. She asks him to explain the unconstitutional quo warranto petition filed by Solicitor General Jose Calida seeking her removal. Sereno says, quote, Mr. President, if you really didn't have anything to do with this, please explain why Soljan Calida, who reports to you, filed a quo warranto petition. Surely, you must explain to the people why this unconstitutional act. Duterte, in response, calls Sereno bad for the Philippines. He says he will help any investigator himself and will encourage Calida to pursue the petition. Duterte says, quote, I am putting you on notice that I am your enemy and you have to be out of the Supreme Court. I will request Congress to do it. The impeachment right away. Kindly fast-track the impeachment. But Duterte and Malacanang have previously insisted the president had no hand in the impeachment hearings and a quo warranto petition against Sereno. Duterte says, quote, if you are insisting, count me in. Then I will egg Calida to do his best. I told you already that I didn't interfere. President Rodrigo Duterte's election social media director denies he worked with Cambridge Analytica's parent company, Strategic Communication Laboratories, during the 2016 polls. This after a photo of Pompey Laviña with suspended Cambridge Analytica CEO Alexander Nix during the latter's visit in the country in 2015 surfaced. Also in the photo with Laviña was his cousin Peter True Laviña, who was Duterte's campaign spokesperson and head of media. Former journalist and National Press Club president at the time, Joel Eggco, was also in the photo. Eggco now works under the Duterte administration as a presidential communications undersecretary. In his visit, Nix delivered a talk about new techniques in election campaigns. Laviña says that was the only time he ever spoke to Nix. He says, quote, honestly, I like what I heard from him, but he couldn't afford a consultant like him. Laviña adds, quote, I didn't know he was famous, or maybe he wasn't yet, but I was definitely impressed by his presentation. He says the event was open for all, not just the Duterte camp. But Laviña admits Nix played a role in the strategy he used for Duterte's social media campaign. He says, quote, I picked up on the idea of elections being driven by emotions, and also that was what was happening on the Facebook battlefield. Laviña vehemently denies learning to use psychographics from Nix's presentation. Psychographic profiling and behavioral micro-targeting were the precise techniques used by Cambridge Analytica in the Trump campaign. The company used data collected from Facebook to serve content specifically tailored for users. While Laviña insists he personally did not use psychographics, data suggests it was used in the 2016 Philippine elections, months before the United States elections took place. Facebook Chief Technology Officer Mike Schropfer last week said about 1.17 million Filipino users may have had their Facebook information improperly shared with Cambridge Analytica. President Rodrigo Duterte denies he knew about plans to construct a casino in Boracay. The planned casino angered netizens and critics who claim it was proof that the government is not sincere in efforts to protect the popular tourist destination. The supposed casino will be built by a Chinese company. Duterte ordered a 6-month closure of Boracay last week. Duterte says, quote, there are no plans for a casino. Let's stop it because it's too much. There's a casino here, casino there. For the president, Boracay should be a farmer's island instead. He says, quote, consider Boracay a land reform area. I will give it to the farmers, to the Filipinos first. Duterte says Boracay is mostly agricultural or forest land. Boracay's 6-month closure to tourists begins on April 26. The Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board clarifies reports that there are already newly accredited ride-hailing companies in the country. This after the Department of Transportation said 4 new ride-hailing companies have been accredited by the LTFRB. LTFRB board member Eileen Lizada says they have yet to accredit new ride-hailing companies that will offer services similar to Grab or Uber. Lizada says possible new ride-hailing companies are still complying with requirements. She earlier said companies LatGo, Hype, and Auto submitted documents for the LTFRB's approval. Lizada adds Grab's accreditation has yet to be renewed. Grab and Uber were supposed to have their accreditation renewed in 2017, but the LTFRB lost the 2 companies' accreditation papers, blaming the previous administration for the loss. Last month, Uber sold its operations in Southeast Asia to Grab. In a bid to protect commuters, the Philippine Competition Commission ordered Uber to continue operations until an in-depth review of the deal is completed. But the LTFRB would rather have Uber close shop as scheduled, saying the company now lacks the manpower to address possible customer complaints. President Rodrigo Duterte says he needs China to back his administration's priority programs. Duterte makes the statement Monday before leaving for the Boao Forum for Asia and China. He says, quote, "I would say I need China more than anybody else at this time of our national life. I need China. I will not say something which is not good." Duterte is set to speak at the Boao Forum's plenary session, along with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Tuesday. The two leaders will also have a bilateral meeting afterwards before Duterte flies to Hong Kong. The Philippine president calls China an important ingredient in his administration's Build, Build, Build infrastructure program and in the rehabilitation of Marawi City after the 5-month terrorist siege. Duterte says China is set to donate another 500 million pesos for reconstruction efforts. He says, quote, "I just simply love Xi Jinping. He understands my problem and is willing to help. I'd like to say, thank you, China." Duterte says he will not raise reclamation activities in Scarborough Shoal in the West Philippine Sea with Chinese leaders. China continues to build facilities and a runway on Panganiban Reef off the coast of Palawan, despite the 2016 International Court ruling that categorically declared the maritime feature part of the Philippines' exclusive economic zone.